What if you made an awesome lure and didn't realize it? Let me give you the backstory. So one of the issues that I have as a lure designer is I get up and make lures just about every morning. If I'm not fishing, if I'm not pouring baits, I'm on my computer designing lures. And so I put out a ridiculous number of designs. And what often happens is I make a 3D mold, I fish them a little bit, maybe hand them out to a few people to test. And if there's not kind of like an instant, yeah, this is cool reaction, they kind of get put to the side. And that's what happened really with the fiddlefin. At the time I designed it, I was looking for a different style of paddle tail. And I really had almost no idea what I was doing. So to go back 2 years ago, when I originally designed what I was then calling the fiddlefin, I was really looking at exploring different types of tail designs and their action. But I wasn't actually set up to do really good testing. You know, my testing was, I went out one day and fished with it, and I caught a fish, which was great. Oh, dang it. There we go. Bro. First ever fish on the fiddlefin. There it is, man. Sweet. But as you can see, the water I'm fishing in is like chocolate milk. Classic Galveston, Texas summer water, right? I couldn't actually see what was happening. And I caught a fish. It was cool. I used that mold design to do a lot of the early testing with my 3D printed molds. I sent it off to get CNC'd using, I think, Xometry or Protolabs, one of the two, to see how much that would cost. And, you know, I just kind of put it to the side in favor of, you know, kind of more classic designs, if you will. Never really fished with it, shot it a few times, and it ended up in my giant bin of lures that I have. This is the other problem you have when you design lures for a living and you fish with them. You'll pour some, fish with them, and just kind of, they end up in a big pile somewhere. So the other day I was out fishing a relatively new lake for me, north of town, packed full of bass, lots of fish. Some guys pull up, they start catching fish. I've been there for like an hour and a half, haven't really caught anything. And I had been meaning to try drop shotting for a while. I grew up fishing the Texas Gulf Coast. My lure selection was relatively small. You know, if I was going out with my dad, if we were fishing live shrimp under a popping cork, that's what we did. If I was fishing by myself, it was pretty much a paddle tail 99% of the time. We would use some shrimp imitations every once in a while. In the winter, we would go bigger with, you know, corkies or mirror lures, basically twitch baits of some kind. But, you know, as far as technique goes, the bass world has us completely beat. So when I started really targeting bass about a year ago, I started learning all of these techniques. And the drop shot was one that I didn't really have any experience with until I started fishing it on this day. I watched a few videos, saw how to tie a drop shot, had to go to the store and get the right hook, all that stuff, right? So I fished the drop shot one day with the AI worm simply because, you know, that's kind of what it was designed for. Even though I didn't really have a lot of experience, I wanted kind of a smaller, really twitchy worm to really target drop shotting and finesse fishing in general. And so on this day when I went out, I had one finesse worm left because I had sent all them out to other people to test. And as I'm digging through this bag of random lures I picked up while I was packing, I noticed the old fiddlefin in there. And I'm like, hey, this is interesting. It's definitely a minnow imitation. This should work, right? If you've seen a lot of the latest trends in kind of finesse fishing or drop shotting, even though it's not drop shotting, you know, with the hover strolling and all kinds of forward-facing sonar techniques, right? This is the kind of profile that a lot of people are using. I'm like, hey, this looks pretty interesting. I wonder if it would work. So I pop it on to my drop shot rig, 3 casts later, and man, it was mind-blowing. Just watch this. There we go, got him. Ooh. Bro. Honey hole produces worms. Bro. Always bet on black, right? Oh. Another cookie cutter. Oh. Nice. Oh. Look how fat he is too, dude. Got him. Look at that. Holy smokes, look at that toad, bro. What a stud. Stud. Thank you, bro. Another maybe pounder. The big guys are sleeping. Okay, here's the littlest guy ever. You can guess on weight. I'm guessing pound and a half. Ain't pretty. Sweet. Oh, cute little guy. So now I had to see this thing underwater, and luckily I was at a spot where the water was clear enough that I could kind of put my camera down there and check it out in action. And I could kind of see what was going on, but it really blew me away when I got home and took a look at this thing underwater. Wow, look, check that out. That is an awesome little shimmy. It looks almost exactly like a little minnow running away. And when you sit there and you just kind of jig it, it gives a great little lazy action. I was really blown away. Like, I didn't set out to design a great drop shot lure, but I think I have designed a pretty amazing drop shot lure and didn't realize it. So if you're a lure designer or even just a normal fisherman, I want you to take some time to go back and look at your designs, look at your tackle box, find a lure that maybe you fished a while ago and you kind of didn't really have success with it or didn't really know how to fish it, and give it another shot. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised that you can bring new life into old lures that you thought were just going to sit around and not produce any fish. And if you want to try out the fiddlefin, now called the Freefall Fry, try saying that 2 times fast, go to wmbio.com. I should have these up within a week or 2 of this video being out. If they're not there, sign up to the mailing list. I'm going to send out an email when they are released and you can try them yourself. I think you'll have amazing, amazing luck. Take care. Tight lines.